Well, now, Brian, we've come to the time where we're talking about a former 16-time world champion. Now we're talking about a one-time world champion in Damian Priest defending that recently inaugurated title against Seth Franklin Rollins. Haven't we seen this before? Seems like a lot.
You know, sometimes you get that feeling for something you haven't seen before, and that's when it's really scary. You know, Triple H in the press conference afterwards really put over Damian Priest and says he's really, earned it. He's really been a great world champion. To me, he's not there yet. And watching him walk to the ring with the belt, I don't know. It's just, we'll see where they're going, but he still doesn't feel like a world champion to me.
We've wanted him to be there. We
Yes.
saw that he might be there someday, and it ain't. I don't know. There's some guy. Is it the minions that he's got that cluttering him up, and now he's told all of them to stay out of his business, and Finn's like, oh, whatever you say, boss. There's going to be trouble, but whatever.
See, that's part of the problem. You've seen him a little bit fire up, but other than that, you see him come down.
Yeah, he's not a very stern disciplinarian for this band of merry pranksters.
Yeah, there's so many friendly conversations backstage, and then, he comes to the ring, he's just your friendly neighborhood Damian Priest.
We've seen him. He kind of rolled his eyes and held his nose and bore up under our true silliness, which is not like, can you see Stone Cold thinking a guy was cute and putting up with, no, it just, I don't know. But then also the matches, well, there's a couple of things here, and I don't know what was going on with one of them, but the way they had to work this, they teased from the start that McIntyre was going to cash in on Priest like Priest did to McIntyre. And they said Seth and Priest are the only two men to ever cash in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. But they opened at 100 miles an hour in such a hurry, it was like they were just doing stuff to do it. And then it would be the pattern where they do a lot of quick shit, and then they just stop everything and like, expect Drew or look for Drew or call for Drew. Like one time Seth started calling Drew, come on out here. And then he did 3 dives in a row. So, and then, at one point I kind of zoned out because they're going so quick and it's just doing stuff. But then Seth hits the stomp and some kind of shit and gets a 2 count on Priest, and then stopped and started daring him to get up forever. It was like, I was wondering if Priest was going to get up. Like, is he hurt? And then as soon as he gets up, he just gives Seth the razor's edge. And, but, just in wrestling school, they used to call it 0 to hero, instantly. And then it slowed down. And then the superplex spot. Do you remember what I'm talking about? The 3 count before the finish?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I was going to say there was more than one timing issue in the match, and the biggest one was the one with the referee.
Well, it wasn't really his fault. Because and first of all, the thing where they do a great superplex. But then Seth is one of these people that has to do, and that you used to see it on the indies. I yelled at a couple guys in Ring of Honor, I think, for doing it. They'll do a superplex and then hold on to the guy and then pick him up and give him the Falcon Arrow, the fucking arrow. And then make it even worse, to kill the superplex, the guy will block the fucking arrow and give his own fucking arrow. And what the fuck do you just do the superplex for? It's so stupid. But they did that here, where Seth did the superplex and then tried to do the thing, and Priest blocked it, and then whatever the fuck. But Seth ends up Falcon Arrowing him and covered him, and it was a 3 count because he didn't kick out. Maybe he really was selling the superplex.
And the referee counted 3.
He had to.
And everyone saw it.
And then they continued on, and the crowd was kind of confused, but then here came Drew McIntyre.
They turned the house lights on too, didn't they?
Oh, yes, that was one of the things that apparently the lighting guy was going by his eyes instead of his fucking
format.
Instead of his IFB. You know, they're going to cue the lights. Somebody's going to say that. And they turned the lights on, so the people really thought that was it. But to me, I think the referee held up and did not count to 3. He just sweeped it at 2.9, but it was a 3 because nobody moved and they turned the lights on. So then people are like,
So you say it's not the referee's fault? Is it Damian Priest's fault?
Well, yes, he didn't kick out. And the referee, you know, you always hear they say, the tell the referee call it like a shoot and under normal circumstances, but in the goddamn, with the import of this match, the fact that neither one of these motherfuckers was supposed to win, I can understand why he held up because, you know, it would have fucked everything up. But did Damian Priest have the wind knocked out of him? Did he not hear the first count and think it was still 2? And that's what I can't figure out. But they destroy the superplex that is the biggest bump to give somebody else another pissy little bump because it's fancy. And then it fucked up anyway. And then here came Drew. And now we got something. He cashes in. It's a triple threat match. And he DDTs Rollins. And then he kicks fucking Priest. And then all of a sudden, here comes CM Punk. And not involved in the match, but there's no disqualification. In this case, not lazy booking. At least it worked for him for once. Punk, they go to the floor. And he wears him out with a fucking chair, and he chokes him with a camera cable, and hits him with a chair again, and the crowd goes batshit. And then he rolls him in the ring and gets the title belt and whacks McIntyre over the head with it. And then sits on the fucking announce desk holding the belt while Priest gets up and choke slams McIntyre. Boom, 1, 2, 3. That was perfect. Because, again, Priest isn't happy because he told people to stay out of his business and now it's somebody else. Drew's laying there out cold. You just know he's going to have to do something about that. Seth doesn't like Punk to begin with and certainly didn't appreciate this goddamn intervention here. And Punk's sitting there like he just had a big old hot box of Mindy's muffins. And then Seth is a babyface, but he starts to go after him and the referees stop him and a blah, blah.
Hey, he cost Seth.
Gets up there.
He cost Seth the belt here too, if you think about it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They
set up 18 matches here. And again, Drew McIntyre, it's looking like SummerSlam may be a more sure thing now because they wouldn't be heating this thing up like this every week if they weren't pretty sure they could be selling this soon. So no wonder they got 2 nights at a stadium. Pretty soon they're going to need goddamn 3 nights, and where's a bigger place than a stadium?
That is a good question.
3 nights in the Grand Canyon.
All right, I guess that's a way to look at it.
This could be their version of Sturgis, right? When WCW used to do the Hog Wild bike rally.
I don't think WWE would do it unless they could set up chairs and sell the rights to sit in them.
Well, no, that's what I'm thinking. They fucking buy the Grand Canyon.
All right.
And they start having their events there where they could hang people on the side of the canyon, get some Sherpas to come in there and fucking navigate the people. It'll be visually stunning. Anyway, were you finished talking about Drew and Seth and Punk?
I don't even know if I said anything yet.
Did you say anything? Would you like to say something?
You know, the thing at the end, everything at the end, all the things at the end were so hot that it almost made you forget about the referee thing. I keep going with the referee thing.
Yeah.
The 3 count that wasn't.
Yes. And at least it happened right after that, so it took their mind off of it completely. They didn't have time to get confused. Too bad.
The stuff with the bloodline is so intriguing, but to me, feud of the year, the feud I'm most into is CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. And both guys have been so good in this. I don't know if you saw any of the stuff after the show, where McIntyre went nuts on the post show.
I did. I'm sure we'll catch up with
him. And Adam Pearce got physical, and now he's been suspended in kayfabe because of his behavior. So we'll probably see clips on Raw before we're recording right now. Raw is after we are recording. We rephrase that. And then Punk was at the press conference.
Wait a minute, what day is this? Raw. It isn't too far from Raw. We never get a chance to where we talk and then we watch. But go ahead.
But I thought everything there was great. And again, you still tease everything with Punk and Rollins. They're really good now at teasing long-term stuff and having it pay off. So we're going to get Punk and Rollins at some point. And Drew and Punk don't even have to wrestle until the match. Let them do shit to build it up. They've now established these guys hate each other so much that they keep doing these things, and they're all believable. It's never like, I ran over his dog, or I showed up at his house and held his wife hostage. Like any of these things we've seen.
Does either one of them have a baby that could be terrorized?
Let's save that for AEW. That's kind of their thing. They may have a trademark or a copyright or something on that. But great finish to a good match that completely, if this thing hadn't happened right away, the 3-count thing could have really poisoned everything.
It was about to go south because it hadn't been that far north to begin with, but they got through with it.
And Punk and McIntyre, though, right? Feud of the year. What feud has been better than that?
And because it's two individuals. With the bloodline thing, it's an ongoing deal. You spread the credit around, a lot of baby faces. This is two guys focused on each other.
And McIntyre, he's been just a revelation, is this? Like you said, he has legitimate reason to be pissed off, but you still don't like him because of everything he's doing.
It's the way he reacts to it.
Yeah.
That, it determines whether you like him or not. This is perfect.